have fundamentally changed how we're interacting with food because we were forced to cook in home more often. Now it's normalizing, but let's talk about how much it's going to normalize and how different this landscape is, both in home and away from home, and kind of what it means for us over time. Now that's a huge topic, and I've probably got about 11 minutes left here. I'm going to show a couple charts, but please bring in discussion. So I'm going to share for a second because you know me. I mean, I have the numbers. Let's see what insights we can come up with. We just published our annual Eating Patterns in America, and these are some of the things that caught my attention that I wanted just to frame up. Because let's say we're post-pandemic. We're not post-pandemic, but we're in recovery, right? So yes, GDP, has surged back. Our unemployment has stabilized at around 6%, but we know that we have massive structural change in our labor force, which is really a struggle both for retail, but specifically for food service. It actually is hindering some of the food service recovery. We also have had a period where counterintuitively disposable income has been up, not because wages have been and salary growth have been driving all that, because of the massive stimulus that's been coming in. That's affected our spending, and specifically all of the massive discretionary spending we've done to make our homes more comfortable and to make our kitchens more convenient. And I'll show you some numbers on that. And then lastly, it's really driven retail sales, based on all this stimulus. So 9% ending April versus 2021 versus the prior year. Crazy. So that's how our homes changed, because we became even more home centric during this pandemic. And by the way, this will continue. And I want to tell you that it was happening before the pandemic. More food was coming into the home before the pandemic because takeout from restaurants had surpassed on-premises dining and traffic. We wanted to bring it home. So at the height of this, we had 86% of our meals at home. That's crazy. It was about 82% prior to the pandemic. Now it's settled. It's getting close back to normal to that. But you better believe that we're going to be making more homes and meals in home for a while. Look at the grocery spend increase. If you follow the markets, we know that 6% for the week ending May 22nd, versus 2 years ago, pre-pandemic. Some of this is normalizing, but it's definitely been up. And then there's a small appliance number that I talked about that talks about we've increased our capacity for meal preparation at home. There's what it looked like. I have this back to 1984. It's never shot up to 86. Never. I hope we don't see this again. That means we have another unprecedented event, and God knows we need to stop sprinting. We need to start jogging, people. So this is what the percentage is. It's back down around that 83-ish number, but restaurants haven't fully recovered. So just to give you an idea, this is our restaurant information, our CREST performance alerts, along with Nielsen grocery point of sale. And this is looking at the dollar sales change versus 2 years ago. So 2022, basically in 21 versus even pre-pandemic. So you can see that grocery sales have been up. Here is back here was chain restaurants declining, and you can see the recovery here, but we haven't offset one another. It's a slow recovery. And the crazy thing is that this means we actually are spending less on food. Let me repeat that. During the pandemic, Americans are actually spending less on food in total. It's because food at home is less expensive than food at a restaurant, and more of our disposable income is going to food at home, that 16% number. Now, the implication for this is what we're seeing is that we're willing to spend on more expensive items at grocery retail. And I'll talk about the foods that have grown. Seafood has been, fish and seafood has been an area, as well as premium cuts of meat. So if you're not going to the restaurant to get those experiences or those tastes, and you're spending less overall on food, there has been for some people a shift up in towards more premium items, higher spend, but that is the new value for some folks. Really fascinating. We're down to 10.5% of our disposable income on food. It's traditionally been around 11%. And by the way, we never let that go higher.